This video tutorial is going to look at how to put a SOSEC barrier into manual release so that it can be held up in an emergency. We are looking at the SOSEC 200 unit with just a barrier, but the same principles apply to the compound version with a gate or the highways barrier for motorways. Generally, a manual release is only used in an emergency when all other barrier functions have failed. If the barrier is only to be held open for a short period of time, it is advisable to use the electronic hold open key on the side of the control box. This holds the barrier open without confusing the calibration of the boom. If the barrier is to be held up manually for some period of time, we need to disengage the gearbox with the manual release key. Turn the key quarter of a turn anti-clockwise and the boom will become free of the motor. Lift the barrier into the vertical position and then lock it back into position by turning the manual release key quarter of a turn clockwise. The boom will then click into its first position and remain there firmly. While the barrier is disconnected from the gearbox, it is also worth checking that it is correctly balanced. When it's free from the gearbox, it should rest easily at 45 degrees. This can be easily adjusted by tightening or slackening the spring inside the barrier. If adjustment is required, lift the barrier back into the vertical position to release the spring, and then adjust the spring tensioner accordingly. Then lower the boom again to see if it has worked, and repeat as required until you have the boom resting at 45 degrees. It is not advisable for the boom to be held up for long periods of time, especially in bad weather conditions or if the barrier has a drop skirt. If this needs to be the case, it must be tied in the up position to prevent the boom being damaged by high winds. Ideally, the boom will be brought down or removed completely if poor weather conditions are expected and it needs to be held in manual release. When the barrier is ready to go back into normal service, use the release key to lower the boom into the down position and lock it back in. Then, from inside the battery control box, press the on button on the solar regulator. From there, the barrier is ready to go back into normal service.